Hi, boys and girls. I'm so sorry I couldn't be there with you today, so I thought I'd record the lesson so you still got to see my face. So, I was reading something the other day, and it made me think of you guys. And it's not really necessarily phonics related, but I think it will be helpful as we're growing to become better readers and writers. So, I was reading this article that talked about third graders, and the research said that as third graders begin to write more and more, that sometimes they forget to punctuate. Have you seen that in your own writing? That you're writing so much, and then you look back and you're like, oh my gosh, where's all my punctuation? I don't have any periods or exclamation points or question marks in my writing. Yeah. So these researchers studied third grade writers, and they found that as you're writing a lot, like you're writing up a storm, sometimes you forget to put in those punctuation marks. So today, what I want to teach you is that as you're writing, that you can either punctuate on the run, like right as you're doing it, or you can go back and put the punctuation in, like go back and edit your work for punctuation. So let's practice that together, okay? So let's practice punctuating first on the run. So I'm going to say a sentence, and I want you to like punch the air just like this when you think I should put in a period. So let's try it. I went to the park. I saw a slide. I went down the slide. It was fun! Exclamation point. Did you get it? Did you hear how I punctuated on the run? I went to the park. I saw a slide. I went down the slide. It was fun! Exclamation point. Let's try it with a different one. Are you ready? Gus is our phonics dragon. He likes to work with words. His best friend is Rashid. They love one another. Did you do it that time? Did you punctuate on the run with me? I sure hope so. So the reason we want to punctuate, the reason we want to put in our periods and exclamation points and question marks is that it makes it easier for our readers to understand what we're trying to say. If we don't put in any punctuation, our story sometimes sounds like this. Gus and Rashid are friends, and they like to play together, and then they go to the store, and then they do things, and then they go down the slide, and then they're running to the park, and then they trip. And see how that gets like tricky to understand? It's like all smushed together. So when I punctuate, I get that reader that sense to say, hey, take a breath, stop, take in my idea, and listen or understand what I'm trying to say. So now the other way we can think about punctuation is we can go back and edit in case we forgot. Say we wrote a whole piece and then all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, I forgot to put in some punctuation. Well, then we have the skills to kind of go in and say, wait a minute, I got to put some punctuation marks in there. So sometimes we can go back into our stories. So I have a story here, and I'm going to give you a tip. One of my tips is that sometimes when we don't punctuate, we, instead of putting a punctuation mark, we put an and or a then or a so in its place. And so then we've got a lot of and, or then, or so, right? When really we need some punctuation. Really we need some periods, exclamation marks, and question marks. So be on the lookout for those words as clues that maybe there should be a period there instead of the word and. So will you help me? We're going to look at this together, and we're going to think about where maybe should I put some punctuation, because right now it sounds like this. Yesterday something ran through our kitchen, and I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't, and it was a possum, and my bedroom door doesn't lock, so when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on, and then I knew possums don't like lights, so I thought I was safe, but in the middle of the night I looked down and beady eyes were staring at me, and I ran... Right? I can't even understand that story. I got to take a breath. So let's look for places where we need to take a breath, and let's look for places where we've heard the who and the what, and now we can end our sentence. So let's take a look. Yesterday, something ran through our kitchen. Do you think that's a good spot to take a breath? Let's try it. Yesterday, something ran through our kitchen, and I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't. Oh, then I start going on. So, Yesterday, something ran through our kitchen. I think you're right. I think we need to take a breath there. Period. And I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't, and it was a possum in my bedroom. I'm almost thinking, let's get rid of this and now. Yesterday, something ran through our kitchen. I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't. Does that have a who? I is the who. What happened? I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't. So that's kind of the what. So I think a period could maybe go there. I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't. That sounds okay. I could stop there. And it was a possum, and my bedroom door doesn't lock. So when I went to sleep, I got it. So let's get rid of this and again. It, capital, wasn't a possum. That's got a who and a what, right? And my bedroom door doesn't lock. So when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on. And then, let's see. Where would I take a breath? And my bedroom door doesn't lock. So when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on. There's some of those clue words. And so let's get rid of this and. My bedroom door doesn't lock. So when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on. That sounds okay, right? My bedroom door doesn't lock. Maybe we can put a comma here. So when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on, period. And let's get rid of that. And let's get rid of that. Then we don't need all those clue words, right? I knew opossums don't like lights, and so I thought I was safe. I knew opossums don't like lights. How about that? So I thought I was safe, period. Okay, you keep going. See if you can work with your partner right now, turn and talk, and see if you can figure out some other parts in the story where maybe the writer should have put in a period instead of using and so then. Go ahead and look. Turn and talk. What are you thinking? So let me go. So I thought I was safe. I'm going to get rid of this. So did you guys get rid of this? I thought I was safe, period. But in the middle of the night, so maybe in the middle of the night, I looked down and beady eyes were staring at me, period. I ran and ran and ran outside, period. Then I was in the dark outside in my pajamas, period. Are that some of the places that you decided to put in periods? But you see how when I slow this down, I can really understand it as a reader? Yesterday, something ran through our kitchen. I thought it was a mouse, and it wasn't. It was a possum. My bedroom door doesn't lock, so when I went to sleep, I slept with the lights on. I knew possums don't like lights. I thought I was safe. In the middle of the night, I looked down, and beady eyes were staring at me. I ran and ran and ran outside. Maybe I even do this. Do you see how much more I can understand this story when I can take a breath and I can slow it down and I can look for the who and the what in each sentence? All right, writers, it's time for you to go into your own writing. And today, even though it's not necessarily a phonics thing, but it's something that helps us make our writing easier for our readers to read, to understand, I want you to go in and make sure you've got punctuation. Either you can start writing fresh and punctuate on the run, say it, practice it, and then write it with your punctuation, or you can go back into something you've already written and make sure you've got your punctuation where it needs to be. Spend some time doing this today, looking at your writing, because punctuation is so important. All right, I miss you all. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.